Hello guys, I welcome you all to day 23 of our anthropology lecture series. So for today our topic will be Chalcolithic age, and I'll be covering the Bronze Age also today, and by tomorrow we are going to finish this chapter. Only Iron Age is left. We are going to complete it tomorrow. So this unit will also be over. We will be over with this unit also. Before I start today's lecture, I have a humble request to make to all of you. Please guys, do share and subscribe, because as you know, it takes a lot of effort from our side also to keep up and motivated. So if I get also new students and subscribers, so I will also feel happy and take the initiative even further with a lot of zeal. So let's get started. So now Chalcolithic age, okay. This word Chalcolithic comes from the Greek word that is chalkos and lithos. So you need to understand the Greek word chalkos and lithos, right? Chalkos means copper and lithos means stone age. So as you can understand, so it was copper stone age, right? So that means with the use of metal, along with that stone things were also used, right? Stone age was not altogether finished. It existed alongside the copper age, or the metal age had just started. So these were the early metal tools, right? These were the early metal tools that appeared alongside the use of stone tools, right? So it was a transitional period between Neolithic and Bronze Age, and somewhere you could say that ये मेटल एज का स्टार्टिंग है, ठीक है, न्यूलिथिक पीरियड के बाद में आया था, and this time stone tools were also getting used, right? So in the beginning it was not exploited like widely, because abhi the culture of copper or the culture of metal was coming in. So it was used with other metals, it was alloy. What is an alloy? You take two metals, and when you mix them to make a new metal, that becomes an alloy. So it was used with tin and other metals to make a alloy and use. तो जब इसको कॉपर और टिन को बाद में यूज़ करेंगे ना, तो उसका अलॉय बनेगा ब्रॉन्ज. सो ब्रॉन्ज एज इसके बाद आई थी, when copper and tin would be used together, right? So it occurred first in the Fertile Crescent. Fertile Crescent would be what you can say today's Iraq wala region, right? That place. So it came in first in the 4th millennium BC. Now I need you to understand few things. Okay, let's first go to that only. In our in the Paleolithic time, हमारी sites were somewhere in these parts. They were confined, right? In some part of Europe, in some part of Africa, in some part of here also, this region of Middle East also. But when we went to the Mesolithic and Neolithic time, European sites, this part, this Arabian Peninsula part, these regions grew. The sites in these regions grew. So right, if I like tell you now, after Neolithic, this area, this area was the center of all activities, okay? This area and Europe ka this region, these were the central regions, central portions जहाँ पे Neolithic civilizations, copper, bronze, even the Iron Age भी mostly यहाँ पर बहुत सारी civilizations हमको मिली. And obviously the Indian subcontinent also we will study in the Indian anthropology when we start. But ये कुछ region जो थे ना, these were the core regions, okay? These were the core regions of development. ठीक है, अब मैं इसको clear कर देती हूँ. So just remember, हमने क्या बात कर ली? हमने बात कर ली ये रीजन बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट रहेगा, और इसमें से भी इसी एरिया की अभी हम बात कर रहे हैं. सो फर्स्ट इन द फर्टाइल क्रीसेंट, दैट इज योर इराक वाला पार्ट, राइट? वहाँ पे सबसे पहले दिस चाल्कोलिथिक एज स्टार्टेड. इन यूरोपियन आर्कियोलॉजी दे डू नॉट यूज द टर्म Chalcolithic. they avoid it, they use copper age, copper stone age, you know, their preferred term is copper age, right? So अगर हमको इसके कुछ जोग्राफिकली देखना है तो हमको यूरोप में, you know, we found in Odzi, which was like an iceman, and he was having, with that person, you know, a copper axe was found, right? So it was believed ki you know, 5300 years back they were in, even Europe had this culture, right? In other than Europe, we found it in Egypt, right? In South Asia, Mehergarh. Now Mehergarh is a very important location, so just keep this in mind. We will read more about it in detail when we go to Indian anthropology. This was also as one of the you know, options in one of the preliminary exams. So sometimes these terms, even if I remember in 2021's exam, the term Levant was asked, right? Levant was also asked. So these terms are also you know, geographically, historically, they have a lot of significance. So that is why they are often asked in prelims also. So with that point of view, you need to, you know, मैं आपको ये लोकेशंस बार बार मैप पे इसीलिए दिखा रही हूँ ताकि आपको एटलीस्ट एक विजुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो. बिकॉज अगर आप लेवांट वाला क्वेश्चन जो आया था वो इसी से सॉल्व हो जाता अगर आपको रीजन पता होता, राइट? तो दैट वे यू कीप इट इन माइंड. सो हमको मोस्टली चाल्कोलिथिक एज वी फाउंड इट इन इजिप्ट, in South Asia, in East Asia, that is China wala part, right? Then Mesoamerica, Mexico, that वाला part, then Europe, then आपका Middle East में आपको Fertile Crescent में मिलेगा, Israel वाले region में मिलेगा, then Egypt वाले region में मिलेगा. So ये सब region आपको याद रखने हैं. Mostly this part, the inner circle, right? So just remember that. Now these were the kind of tools that they were using. So now see the tools, now they are made of metal. So now why metal, you know, was a turning point? Metal was a turning point because, you know, अब tools could have a lot more strength, right? So अब जैसे pottery के comparison में अगर हम ये वाले tools use करेंगे, like jugs ऐसे use करेंगे, so they will have a lot of strength, right? Weapons के लिए you know, metal proved to be a turning point, right? So इन सब चीज़ों से तो जब आपके पास wealth आई, मतलब इससे wealth भी generate होगी because wars लड़े जाएंगे. wars से क्या होगा, फिर आप acquire करोगे wealth, kingdoms बनेंगे. So eventually metal was also a very important turning point in the civilization, right? Okay, so now ये मैंने थोड़ा सा दिखा दिया, जैसे this region, the highlighted part, यहाँ पे कुछ उबैद culture था, right? So you can see clearly livestock का हो रहा है, यहाँ पे livestock थी, then यहाँ पे आपके cultivation भी हो रहा था, then आपकी pottery भी चल रही थी, and this person shows a kind of chief, you know, so एक तरह से kingdoms की establishment भी अब शुरू हो गई थी, right? And these are the general people of the place, right? So ये एक important period था. You can quote the Ubaid period, Chalcolithic में एक part, ठीक है? Okay. And you know, one is this part. ये Ubaid तो कहीं यहाँ पे था, in this part, right? अब ये Uruk, whatever it is said, Urak जो भी है, यहाँ पे हमें ऐसे कुछ seals भी मिले हैं, ठीक है? So somewhere यहाँ पे हम बोल सकते हैं script, you know, start हो गई थी. और हमें पता ही है इंडिया में हमें इसी टाइम के करीब you know, जब ये पीरियड चल रहा है, because now you need to understand this point. अब कुछ clear cut demarcations नहीं है, you know, in time period there are no clear cut demarcations. For example, around the same time, around 5000 BC, I can see Neolithic also, I can see Copper Age also, I can see Bronze Age also at different places, right? So every place they were existing simultaneously also, because many places at 5000 BC I will find a Neolithic site, somewhere I'll find a Copper Stone Age site, somewhere I'll find a Bronze Age site. So no clear cut demarcation is there. For example, if we see here this Uruk period, that is from 4000 to 3100 BC, we are finding a Chalcolithic site here. But this in the same time around 3000 BC, we were having Indus Valley civilization, which was a Bronze Age site, right? So ऐसे कुछ clear cut नहीं है. इसके बाद जो है ना, somewhere Bronze Age, you know, directly came after Neolithic period, and some places it was transitioned by a Copper Age, right? So and somewhere, you know, ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि iron directly आ गया हो, maybe because of trade, maybe because of migration of people, right? So ऐसे भी हो सकता है. It's not important कि every place must have developed the culture on its own, because at this time the trade had grew, the people were moving, they were having technology. So it could also be there that people from one place migrated to other place or came in contact with the other place, and through their contact they must have got the new culture. So that is why some places, you know, Neolithic के बाद bronze आ गया, right? या फिर some places copper के बाद iron आ गया, right? So this all you need to understand. So nothing much we had in Copper Age, just I told you little bit. And Copper Bronze Age, it is also a part of, you know, you can say it is Bronze Age also, or you know, Copper Bronze Age also, anything. So when copper and tin was alloyed together, so to create bronze, right? This alloy was a better technique, you know, as compared to copper, because इसमें ज़्यादा resistance थी, you know, strength ज़्यादा थी, right? At this time domestication of horses had also started. Okay, so this was the second age in the 3 age system. We starting में हमने prehistoric जब पढ़ रहे थे हम prehistoric age, तो उसको हमने we had divided it in 3 parts. First was the Stone Age, second was the Bronze Age, and third was the Iron Age. So this was the second in the 3 age system, right? Now see, Sub-Saharan Africa, Neolithic age followed by Iron Age. देखो, like I was telling you, in Sub-Saharan Africa, Neolithic was directly followed by Iron Age. So there was no like Copper Age, Bronze Age in between, because they must have, you know, acquired the culture. They must have not evolved the culture. They must have acquired the iron culture eventually, right? So place and time of invention of Copper Age or Bronze Age is controversial, but it is possible that it first existed in the Makop culture in the North Caucasus. I'll just tell you which is the North Caucasus. This region somewhere here, the region of Azerbaijan, Armenia and all, right, between यहाँ पे Black Sea and Caspian Sea के, you know, in the middle of Black Sea and Caspian Sea, that region is the Caucasus region. So it is believed that it must have evolved there first, right? However, this was the arsenic bronze. Arsenic bronze is a natural alloy that is naturally present in the environment. So you do not need to have a technology to do it. For example, मतलब this is just an alloy जो हमको nature से ही मिल जाएगा. You know, we do not need to do it, because when you make a alloy, you need to know कि how much quantities of both the things you want to mix, and then you have to, you know, develop that alloy, right? So it requires sophisticated technology. But arsenic bronze is just a alloy which is found in the nature itself. So they were just using that. Okay, this was the first instance where bronze as a metal was used, right, in the Makop culture in the North Caucasus, right, in the 4th millennium BC, right? But the tin bronze, which is the alloy that is created by its own by the people, you know, tin bronze, it requires sophistication of technique and was developed later, right? So अगर हमको copper bronze age की बात करनी है, it was the second period in the 3 age system. It was developed somewhere in the North Caucasus region for the first time. Then it was some places, you know, Neolithic period was directly followed by Iron Age, and this arsenic bronze, which is naturally found, that was the first bronze that was used, right? The tin bronze that was created by humans was used much later. Okay, So these kind of the weapons, modern weapons they were using. So you can well imagine this kind of weapons or these things are used in at the time of wars. So wars must have started. With wars, fortification must have started, because if war will happen, a king or a kingdom will try to fortify its walls, right? Fortify the its territory to keep himself safe. So उससे kings and kingdoms की शुरुआत शुरू हो गई होगी, right? So this way you can see how the civilizations are growing, and they must have started to use uh, these animals for the plowing also. So a lot of technology has, you can see, has evolved. It has become much more sophisticated, right? So again, iska geographical region would be Mesopotamia, that is the Iraq wala region, right? Then ancient Egypt, then Levant, then Anatolia. Anatolia is also there in Iraq itself, Iraq wala region. The Persian plateau. So basically you can see again, if I have to show you this region, this region, this region, this region, this region basically all was the part of Bronze Age, right? Okay. So Bronze Age in Indian subcontinent also we saw in the IVC, right? And in China it was the Shang dynasty. You don't need to remember all these names, just remember the location little bit, like I am telling you in the map, no? Just remember it, because you can just quote some of the names, then it will be nice in the paper. Then in the Shang dynasty they were creating they were using artifacts that were of utilitarian purposes. That means they were not making using these metals for just for making beautiful things, decorative items. No, they were making it for like utilitarian purposes that were used in their day to day life, right? They could be like their war weapons, they could be utensils, so वो decorative items नहीं बनाते, because as we see in the picture here, there are a lot more decorative pieces also. Like this is, let me do it with the red color. This is a decorative piece, this is a decorative piece. So decorative items are also used, right? So people are not like having using metal for the purpose of weapons or tools for agriculture or other purposes. They are also using them as decorative material. Then they must be using it for jewelry purposes also, right? So they were not using it for jewelry or anything else, they were using it for utilitarian purposes, right? So आपको थोड़ा थोड़ा समझ आ गया ये कहाँ पे था, right? And apart from this, if we have to see in Europe, there was a urn field culture that was there. Urn field is basically crematory kind of culture. Cremation करते हैं ना, when we burial culture. So there we found a lot of burials in Europe, so it was named on that only as urnfield culture. Urnfield culture characterized by burials, right? Then there was large livestock farms that were developed, okay? So they were using livestock also, and they were making livestock as a important activity, economic activity, right? And they were clearing of forest, because metal made clearing of forest very easy. Because आप लकड़ी के उससे कितना लकड़ी के या stone axe से how much can you do, right? आप cutting नहीं कर सकते. But when metal came in, right, and more specifically iron, जब iron आया तो clearing of forest became all the more easier, right? उसमें strength कम थी लगती थी to cut the forest. So when these metal ages came in ना, forest का clearing started, and on wide scale these forests that were cleared were used for agriculture then. So एक impact of metal का ये था कि clearing of forest हुआ बहुत ज़्यादा, right? Then in this area the greatest quantities of bronze objects were found in East Cambridgeshire, right? That is there in England. So mostly, if we have to see, I have told you the geography, I have told you the kind of tools that there were. इसके अलावा religion, if I have to talk about religion अब complex हो गया था with different kind of religions coming in. जैसे हमें पता ही है, मतलब इट्स नॉट लाइक आई एम सेइंग द मॉडर्न डे Christianity and Islam had come in. I am not saying that. I am saying just there was belief in afterlife, there were some rituals that were performed. ठीक है ना. देन आयरन एज में तो यू विल सी लाइक आयरन एज में आपका अश्वमेध और जो यू नो द काइंड ऑफ कल्चर जो आ गया था. ठीक है. सो थोड़ा बहुत रिलीजन यहाँ पे स्टार्ट हो गया था. ठीक है. वो तो पहले भी स्टार्ट हुआ था, तो अब और कॉम्प्लेक्स हो रहा था. राइट. देन सोसाइटी वॉज डिवाइडेड. social inequality, तो definitely there were social classes that was created. Poor and rich, they were there because some people became traders जिन्होंने across the continents भी trade करना start कर दिया था. Trade guilds were created, so they were having a lot of money. So then we did it in the last class also. In the Neolithic period, age of disease and pestilence had started. So with that there were epidemics, and there were with manipulation, more and more manipulation of environment. There were droughts also, famines also. People were a lot dependent on one kind of cereal food, right, rather than having a balanced diet. So all of those points are going to get repeated. इसके बाद major difference जो आएगा ना, that will come in the iron age. Here I told you Neolithic period, copper age and bronze age more or less existed at the same time. So culture, society, religion में कुछ ज़्यादा different नहीं होने वाला. Difference is only in the tool technology, right? The metal tool, वही difference है, और कुछ ज़्यादा difference नहीं है. And little bit changes will come in the iron age. So tomorrow we are going to study the iron age and finish this chapter altogether, right? And whatever is left in this chapter would be the Indian part of this, which we are going to do in the Indian anthropology, and there I will try to integrate both the parts, the world and the India, so that आपको थोड़ा सा और holistic understanding हो जाए, right? So I hope you like the lecture, guys. Please support me. Please share, subscribe and like. Thank you so much.